there's like no soul I want to use over the grenade soul right now. Hey guys, Silvertorn here with Let's Play Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, and I got the Skull Archer soul. And you still take 3 hits, and are annoying. Also, enemies will do different damage in different animation frames, and you are someone. Who are you? You have a frame, and you know who we are! This person here would be Yoko Belnades. I'm half convinced I'm pronouncing her name right, but she is the member of the church who is here. But Soma actually does have a good point. Why would a member of the church know who... Great job not spoiling who he is. If there were no guesses before, Genya Arikedo is in actuality Alucard. He knows Soul Steel, which we saw in the first scene, so it shouldn't be much of a surprise assuming you've played Symphony of the Night. That and the fact he kinda looks like Alucard. So, the fact that Alucard is here and looking around does raise some questions. But he did ask Yoko to help him out if she ran into him, and Soma finds that hard to believe, but Alucard isn't really that bad of a guy. So I'm probably just going to call him Alucard because it's easy for me to say Alucard. I don't think I've said Alucard in the statement enough times. Alucard. Alucard. But yeah, he's looking out for us because we share the same dark powers, which should really say a few things. Not to mention the fact that Soma doesn't actually know his powers are dark, which he does now. Because Yoko can't really keep her mouth shut very well, as we've seen from her spoiling what Alucard's name is, or who Alucard is. But our power in general is to control and command over monsters, which is what we've been doing from absorbing their souls and gaining their abilities. So it comes as naturally to breathing for us, but we don't realize it yet. And it's a dark power, but it's not exactly evil. Which is the way I'm thinking about it, like this power could be considered a knife. Give a knife to a lunatic and give a knife to a doctor, and they're gonna use them in different ways. Or give a knife to a psychopath and give a knife, give a knife to a soldier and give a knife to a chef, and they're gonna use them in separate ways. It's just a tool. How you use it is what really does. Tools don't have a sense of morality to them, for the most part. But she is decent enough to at least make Soma feel a bit better about his power. Small blessing. And I don't remember how long she talks. Oh, there's one more thing they talk about. And that is, she asks if we've run into Graham. And she says that he's probably going to be the one to get Dracula's powers. Yeah, he didn't look like a bad guy, Soma, but he was a pretty bad guy. How much for that bridge? Is it inland or on the ocean? I find it funny that they have that saying in here. I don't actually hear that saying very often. Like, I know what the saying means, but I don't hear it very often. But she's off to find Graham and try to do some stuff, and wonderful GBA level sprites and character portraits. Also, go back in here, there's now this thing, which I could use to farm its soul pretty easily. This is another word I'm not going to bother trying to pronounce, and that's stone, by the way. You just get turned to stone. Also, the Minotaur there. The Minotaur was actually a boss in some of the earlier Castlevania games. And he will bring us the axe up, and if you kind of pause... Yes! Minotaur Soul! Several of the yellow souls are just upgrades. Like you see, the White Dragon increases our Constitution by 4. There would be another one that would increase it by 8, I think by 16, and I don't remember if there's anything past 16. The Minotaur is the second stage Strength yellow soul. So it increases our Strength by 8, which you can also see increases our attack by 8, which is pretty nice. Also, his axe kind of chills there for a while. So the fact we've gotten that soul means I'm now going to be doing that much more damage. Anything over here? There's money over here. 100 gold. But yeah, there are rooms like this. They serve no purpose. They fill out the map. That's really the only purpose they serve. Boss over there, but there's a thing over here. I like this room. I like this room a lot. So let me go back here so I can kill everything. Now this is a doorway in essence. Go up to it, nothing happens. Alright, so this is pointless. Walk away. It opens. Then closes. If you're close enough that you can run into it, it won't open, but you can backdash into the doorway. I really like that puzzle. I'm not completely sure why I like that puzzle, but I do like it. You've also seen that the grenades only did 38, I think, to that monster, whereas we were doing 36 with our soul, despite the weak air. Actually, I don't know if it is resistant to slash, or weak to blunt. But you can just see how much more damage we do now that we have that soul. Anyway, the reason we come up here is to get the whip sword, which is probably going to be the sword I use for the while. Now, the whip sword is that. Really long range, a little slow, but I can use it in the air, and so long as it's out, any bit of that sword is hitbox. So I can kind of just use it to play extremely safe and powerful, and I like this sword, and it is pretty useful, and I'll probably use the sword for a while. Also, these things are immortal, you can't kill them. Just thought I'd mention that. Now in here we run into a new boss, which will be another downgraded enemy later on, or downgraded boss later on. Now this boss has a thing where that shield, you can't actually hurt it. But the whip sword has enough of a reach that you can hit past the shield and still hit his body. He will also try to hit you, and he will telegraph his attacks pretty early on, and usually I can avoid them if I'm intelligent. But yeah, you can see that some hits aren't actually hitting him, they're just hitting the shield, which is guard. It takes no damage. Whereas with other weapons we might have trouble hitting him, it'd have to get extremely close. The whip sword has such a reach, though, that you can stay back decently far and still hit him, causing damage. I like that they provide this weapon for you to get, even if it is slightly out of the way and slightly behind a puzzle. And hey, you look interesting. I like this guy's music. I really do. And that painting in the background's creepy. Yeah, this here is an older guy by the name of Hammer. He's actually from the US military. He was ordered to come here, which, alright, that makes sense. So the military is interested in this. He was expecting the shrine, suddenly in a castle. Yeah, kind of a mean thing. The military totally meant to send you into a castle with some hazing ritual, Hammer. Totally. But he kind of bails on his mission. He just abandons the US government because they abandoned him in a castle. They probably don't even know he's trapped in the castle. But yeah, there's a bunch of strange people gathered at the shrine, so you figure, hey, they'll be good customers. He's our shopkeeper. So we buy stuff from a US Army deserter. But as he stays, there's weapons all over the castle and no monsters at the front gate. So he goes and collects a bunch of weapons, and he sets up shop at the front gate where Mina is. So we can go back there, and that will be our shop for the game and our use for all the money. And Hammer is weird. He really is. We come over here and we get another Grey Soul, Malthus. I don't know the reference, but Malthus will allow us to double jump, which we can jump really far by abusing the Flying Armor Soul, and it's resetting the words. Yes, resetting the words. Resetting the gravity-ish stuff and stuff. And 3 hits, 4 hits, 5 hits. Minotaurs do take a decent bit of damage, though, because they are relatively durable, but let's see. That does 39 damage, and I'm doing 37 with the chain whip. So, really, might as well just sword the enemies, or sword him at any rate. Viewer, I don't remember what Viewer does. I could farm its soul, I guess. It wouldn't be that difficult. This would be how I'd farm it, by the way. Weapon with a... Damn, I had it! And that is, create a wall of revolving fire. I'll demonstrate that while I'm in the area. But Viewer would allow us to do this, which isn't terrible, but it isn't amazing either. So I'm going to put this Flying Armor back on because that's useful. But that would be like just one example of how Blue Souls work. They use mana per 5 seconds, or mana per second actually. Die. You, I want you. The whip can reach it. Just whip the book and pull it to you. It's basically a hook shot. We can't slide, so we can't get that. We'll get that later. Is there anything over here? Nothing over here. The only thing down here is that book, which we cannot get. That is a passage which we can't actually go. Is there anything? No. That's a passage that we can't actually go yet, I believe. I'm probably going to end up coming in from the other side, knowing how I am. I'm going to save now. Still have enough time to keep going, though. We're still pretty early in the video. That soul, or that book there. That book is actually important for later, so just remember that it is there. And I don't want to get hit by a curse because I do need to use my mana to use the Flying Armor. And over here is gold. Useful. But I will probably end up attacking like this, where I'm attacking in the air as falling or jumping or whatever because it is more efficient. Fleamen are the devil. I hate Fleamen. Get to get past these arachnes again. these enemies amuse me for reasons. Like, I don't exactly like spiders, and it's GBA graphics. But I think it's probably because I thought they were like machines at first, and yes, they are doing exactly what you think they're doing. I didn't make note of that earlier, but they are doing exactly what you think they're doing from exactly where you think they're doing it. I need to bring the box down now. Box, greatest save. Let's go up first. Box is our greatest helper. So I didn't do this previously because we did not have the jump power for that. But with double jump, we do! Yay, double jump. What's up here anyway? It is heart pendant, rather. Buttons! How do I button? Now this would reduce our defense but increase our luck. And I kind of want more luck because that is better chance of getting souls and everything. And I kind of want more souls. Souls are pretty alright. So then we can also push this box down here. It is a perfect fit through here for some reason. And we can go over here. Over here, we can get the broadsword, which I believe I'll take a look. Broadsword does do more damage, but it's not as long as the whipsword. The whipsword is one of the longest weapons in this game. The broadsword might actually attack overhead. I don't remember. I do not remember. But yeah, the whipsword can even outrange the little fire breath, not the little fireball, but the fire breath itself, which is interesting. This weapon can outrange a lot of things. You can also destroy those knives if you're good or lucky. But just the range on this weapon is why I love it so much. It is such a nice range. Oh, and I got his soul, so I can throw more knives. I might put that on. I don't know. I like my grenades, because I don't really need another pierce weapon or slash weapon, whichever it actually is. And over here is... Right, I gotta come back over here because there's stuff which I could not get previously. This might be a longer update, actually. Because getting back to a save will take a bit of time, I believe. But we can jump. With the double jump ability, we actually have the height needed to get in here, which will give us a hammer. Hammers are interesting weapons, and we can actually buy a hammer from Hammer. Surprise! That's subtle. Hammers are a blunt weapon, first of all, so they're a different weapon type. They would do more damage to like skeletons and such versus our sword, which is nice to know. There's actually a limitation. Like I think you can only have like 2 or let's take a look. Wrong button. Let's see. 3 weaknesses. Maybe there isn't actually a limitation, but most enemies have no more than like 2 or 3 at a time. And for the most part, using dark, enemies are tolerant to it. They're resistant to it. Now, there is a caveat to that, and there would be a very good reason to have a dark weapon, if only to make a fight later on easier. And that fight later on will probably make one of my preferred use weapons near useless for it. And I will get into that later. I like that fight. I can also get up there, I think. Oh, I can get up there. I know I can get up there. Jump. And jump. I don't remember what's over here, so I'm just going to kill things and go over here. Got a combat. I think the combat knife is actually one of the more powerful weapons you can have currently. It's a bit more powerful than the broadsword, and the hammer is much more powerful. So the hammer is currently the most powerful weapon we could get, but it's also a shorter range weapon, which is why I'm going to keep using the whipsword. See, while the armors are kind of cut and dry, the weapons are not. Not in the least. Unless we're doing something with like enemies that are resistant. There are a few bosses would probably be the only monsters I would really pick a specific weapon for over another. Wow, I missed you completely. The bosses are really the only enemies I would probably choose a new... I kind of want to get the Ghost Dancer Soul. I really kind of want the Ghost Dancer Soul. Ghost Dancers, spoilers, will give you luck. So that's pretty useful, and why I want it. I like my luck. There's another Une, and a on poison, anti-venom, but same difference, it gets rid of poison. Up here, up here, up here. I actually know what's up there. I'll be back down here later to finish filling in that map. But over here is a creepy looking gate. in the creepy looking gate is a portal, which will throw us over here. Alright, so we're back here and stuff. And I'm gonna kill some zombies. Killing zombies. I think zombies give you like 1 experience. But that's probably been enough for this video, guys. So this has been Silver Batoran with Let's Play Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. We've met Yoko. We've discovered that Graham is probably a bad dude. We've met Hammer, who's our shopkeeper. I'm gonna go visit him next time, actually, because he's right on the other side of this door. But that's gonna be next time. So until then, guys, I will see you all later. This has been Silver Batoran with Let's Play Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, and why won't these zombies give me their damn soul? Alright then, I'll see you guys all later. Later. That was redundant.